Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Gulfstream Park.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome bay with shafafa on.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. I'm on a low octave today. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike. I was in the middle of multitasking, and you know how men and multitasking mix.
They don't.
Beautiful, gorgeous Chamber of Commerce weather day here at Gulfstream
The
Park.
last 2 days
Palms.
have been spectacular.
Jeff Defo DeForest, when you were taking your walk of life this morning, aren't you just like saying, this is why we live here, and this is why I just want to keep going and be healthy and
Listen to you, man, Mr. Jack LaLanne all of a sudden. No, I like it that you're doing this, Mayo, man. It couldn't have been any more glorious. You know what? As beautiful as it was yesterday, and as great as the Even Keel Fish Shack was to visit for lunch at that time, it was even more spectacular today.
Yeah.
Could not have been any
Yes.
nicer. I got out there on the track about 10:30. And you didn't want to stop. It was absolutely fantastic.
It was
you'd be
perfect.
happy to know I left the house at 8:30 this morning and took a nice 4-mile loop around the neighborhood,
Nice.
the New River, downtown Fort Lauderdale. I passed right by. There's a relatively new bagel store in Fort Lauderdale. It's called Bagels and Company.
Yeah, they're going
And
to open one up in Davie, too.
They're all over the place. They open one. They just opened one in
Normally, you would have
Tallahassee.
stopped in and tried to cinnamon raisin.
I had no interest
Wow.
in going inside. I saw it. I said, bagels, they mean nothing to me because I am fueled by Gila Monster Venom, also known as Ozempic.
Yeah.
It's really alarming and also awe-inspiring the impact that these newfangled drugs can have. Because yesterday, with Jeff Defo DeForest and Mike Lubie Lubitz and God as my witness, how many French fries did I eat yesterday?
I only get one.
That was
Zero.
it was startling. It really was. Of all the cockamamie stuff you've come up with on the show in 3+ years, this is the most effective by far.
Oh, it's
It's the
actually
first
working,
time
yeah.
you've slammed the brakes on overeating, and
Yep.
And-
you know, and you know that wasn't really the problem. The stuff that you were doing on the show was just that you were eating like at 3, heavy duty,
3 or
fancy,
4 meals, and then if
high-end restaurants every day,
Yep.
I'd go bang, 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 like go right
and then
from the
have
show,
a snack. Yeah,
and then stop at some place that I said, oh, I got to try this, and then
Yes.
have a dinner lined up, and then get knocked out of a poker tournament and stop at the Burger King on the way home.
Oh, man.
Guilty. No, I really don't do that much. Just
no, you were doing it every day.
I wasn't doing it every day. But meanwhile,
You're doing it
Joe
more than you should,
Beja
yeah.
and Chef Jason Glues
Boy,
here
they've
at
come
10
through here.
Palms at Gulfstream. What are they doing? They're putting me and the Ozempic to the test
Oh,
today
yeah, they're working you.
because they are having.
You've already passed the test.
They
You
are-
would have devoured at least one of these crawfish boils by now.
Well, he's going to tell us how he
How
eat
he
it.
does it. Yeah.
Those are some whoppers
here,
too.
These are
let me
big
just set
crawfish.
the table, so to speak. We are at 10 Palms at Gulfstream, a great place to be. Whenever there is live racing, they're open. Great weekend place to be because they have the buffets set up, Sunday brunch buffet. We got 3 contest winners coming in this week. But you know
Oh, nice.
them. They always like to be seasonally appropriate, and it was just Mardi Gras this past week. They are having their Mardi Gras celebration with some specials this weekend, and you have it right in front of us.
Wow.
He did a crawfish boil. He's got some jambalaya. He's got some dirty rice. He's got a corn, I think they call it a corn chacru or what is it?
Chacru?
Yeah, I'm going to make up terms now. It's basically corn and the andouille sausage.
It looks good, man.
Oh,
and
interesting.
maybe a
Very
little bit-
interesting.
Have you
Now,
tried that?
this
Yeah,
was-
there's like okra, I think, in there.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
it
stuff. in
looks great. You know me and
I'll try it.
corn. I love
Oh, you're out.
corn.
I'll
Corn
take one for
doesn't
the
love
team.
me,
I have to
but
try it.
I do love my crawfish because crawfish, it's not just for Mardi Gras. It's in season basically from January through June. Sometimes the season goes a little bit later, all the way to
And
July
are you
4th,
a big advocate of crawfish?
I am. You know
go out of your
why?
way to get them? Yeah.
because it's a lot of work for a little meat, and that is now my new motto. I gotta work for
So
my
what did you do here?
work for my meat. So you basically the first
Take
thing
the
you
head
do
off. You got to take the head off.
is you twist
the
and
tail?
pinch off the tail.
That's the
So in
tail.
here you got some good meat. The first thing you want to do, you got to suck out them heads, as they say in New Orleans.
You did it already? Oh, I missed it.
And you got some good gloppy stuff in there.
Yeah.
You don't want to know exactly what it is. And then you've got the tail.
Tony did it well.
Basically
He's going
sucking
for it.
out the
What about the
brains.
claws? Are they not
No,
effective?
so the claws are not worth the.
Yeah, it's not
They're not worth the
pain.
effort?
I mean, you
It's not like a
can,
lobster.
like anything else, like
Or
a
crab.
lobster, you can kind of like just twist off this and
I don't
try
think
to
there's a lot in there.
get a little sweet meat, but usually not worth it. But where you get the most meat is the tail. You got to pinch it down so you crack it and then open it up, and watch out for flying debris.
Yeah, wow.
And then you pull out your tail here, and the most important thing, and I'm obviously not ready for prime
You look
time.
like you're eating on Survivor.
So you have this little bit of tail, but what you want to do is like you pull it
But
apart,
you did a good job there.
and there's a little vein in here. You want to peel out the vein.
Yeah,
The
but
vein goes too?
the vein.
Vein
So what's
goes.
left?
Because
The
gross.
vein is indigestible.
Hold
but,
that up for the
but
people.
well, this
No,
is a
no, really,
small
I mean,
one. It's
okay.
a small one, but this
Can't you
part,
just order a Maine lobster? I mean, wouldn't that be
But
way
look, this
better?
is perfect for the Ozempic crowd because
It's
you want to
perfect.
just have a little bit, and you get the flavor.
Not everybody's on this drug. man.
It's perfect.
I mean,
Well,
Right,
I'm
the
glad you're having
flavor's great.
success.
It's just a lot of work. That's
Yeah,
my only
yeah.
problem with
It's a, lot
crawfish.
it's a lot of work for a little bit.
Yep.
It's like a stone crab. You know,
Oh, stone crab, you get a lot of meat. The Maryland blue crab, you got to do a lot of work, and also you get a little meat. But these things, if you get yourself a bucket, and I did this last week with Val on Sunday night at Shuck and Dive, you get a nice 3-pound or 5-pound bucket, and you just kind of get like a machine. You just start
Yeah, once you get in a groove,
tearing
it's
them
good.
apart.
Once you get in a groove,
them,
it's not
you
bad.
have your Abita beer in one hand, which is the Louisiana beer, and then you have the crawfish. You just start moving and shucking and diving, and you just keep going until the bucket is gone. So crawfish boil.
The corn thing has a lot of flavor. to
This
it.
is
Very
fantastic.
good,
Yeah. Whatever this is, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm actually, it's so thick, I'm eating it with a fork.
no,
That's
I'm
good.
eating it with a fork. It's
Yeah.
really good.
And I could just have a. If we
I
could
wouldn't
get
do
a
that.
Dive
spoon-
into
It's a
something.
lot of
How
corn.
about the dirty
No,
rice?
I had a little jambalaya.
The rice may work for you. I wouldn't do the corn. It's literally the entire thing. Is
corn, you're really taking a
No,
chance.
I don't want to eat the corn. I just want to have the broth, just to kind of have a little flavor. Here, wait.
Okay, you're just
I'm gonna take this and spoil this spoon. Don't anybody eat this spoon. It looks very rich, which I don't know if.
Oh, really good stuff. What's it
Wait,
called again?
wait,
You made
wait,
it
we
wait,
don't know
wait,
what the hell
wait,
them-
wait.
Oh, sorry, but yeah, it's a little spicy too.
There's a nice
You
kick to
could
it. Yeah.
use the fork, or use your fork. Get a little of the dirty rice. I'm gonna go into this, and this is just part of the seasonality that
Yep.
they love to put on display here. Chef Jason and
Yes.
Joe Beja will be joining
It's
us
not
later.
just track fair anymore.
And we
as
got
they
to give
say.
a recap again. We were here last weekend after the show Friday, but
that
on
was a blast.
Saturday, bourbon and barbecue.
Yeah, that was a blast.
I really enjoyed the bourbon to, I guess, kick off not a dry March, but a wet March after the mostly dry February.
So you started a wet march
and then less
and
eating.
then Ozempic at the same time.
Well, I kind of cheated last weekend. I kind of let myself go and had some eating and drinking, knowing that it was like the final days before I would start injecting myself with this Gila monster venom.
There you go.
And let me tell you, it's really effective. I haven't done the first weigh-in. I'm only going to do one weigh-in a week, and we'll see how it goes over 3 months. All I know is that it basically punishes you if you make the wrong choices. Not only does it rewire your brain and actually slow your digestive tract, and also produce insulin when you need it, because it is eventually, it was originally intended as a diabetes drug. But it also, if you make the wrong choices and you eat too much fatty food or fried food, or in the case of last night, I just had 2 spoonfuls of ice cream just because I said, I'll give myself a little taste.
No, you're not.
And an hour later, you're in
It regulates you eating heavy stuff. That's just what it does.
And,
You're the first person I've known that's tried Ozempic, and I've heard about it, but they don't tell you about. They list all the things that could happen to you.
Yeah, the side effects, which
Yeah.
Defo was mentioned.
Yeah, and my wife and I look at each other and go, "Why?
That's what
Why?"
Defo's response.
Well, I'm very fortunate. So far, my perineum is not itchy, so which is one of the dreaded side effects.
That's a lovely conversation to have
Yeah, exactly.
at lunch.
At lunch, it's a great lunch. For those who don't know what a perineum is, I suggest don't look it up while you're eating. But no, there's all these side effects. But again, the number one side effect is it can cause nausea and other stomach and digestive issues if you don't eat right. Now, I did last night after, kind of experimenting and failing in terms of what I can and can't eat. I kind of did a Google search of, what can't you eat when you're on Ozempic? And it's basically everything. It says you can't have fried foods, you can't have fatty foods, you can't have sugary foods, you can't have carbs, you cannot even have vegetables that have a lot of roughage like salad. Or yesterday I had a piece of celery at the show, and the celery has a lot of roughage, and even that caused a little bit of, let's say, distress. So basically, all you can eat is lean meats, lean proteins. I had a little shrimp cocktail before the show, and all I could eat. You saw this.
Yeah, all you
they
had
have
was
4
two.
of them, and I filled up after 2. Have one little bite of the jambalaya. So it's weird to see how your brain can be rewired just by taking a little injection of something, which I guess the miracles of modern medicine. But anyway, enough.
So we're at Gulfstream Park, by the way. It is a Friday. And we're at
Yes.
Ten Palms, and we're celebrating New Orleans food fair as it was Fat Tuesday, and we will have a Ten Palms Brunch Contest at some point after we get through the Mayo.
And both
The Mayo
digestive.
Clinic. Literally the
It
Mayo
is the
Clinic
Mayo
every day.
and both me and
discussion.
Defo, I think, are live in the early double. Or did you have doubles going, or you just wanted
No,
that
I
exact?
bet exactas, and I keyed the 8, and unfortunately I got the 4 second, but I'm happy. I'm ahead for a few bucks. I did want to bet this 7-horse in Aqueduct, but didn't get down, so I'll watch him jog.
Okay,
and,
well,
pay $7.
we have the opening race action here at Gulfstream Park every day now. Post time is 12:50.
Oh,
and
look
I
at
think
this! He leaps out of the gate.
It's
by 10.
even going to be, I think, maybe even a later post time starting next week. I got to mention to everybody this Saturday we spring ahead.
And,
Saturday night, actually Sunday morning.
So
At 2 a.m., it becomes 3 a.m. We spring ahead. We
So
lose an
my-
hour of sleep, but we gain an hour of daylight.
my wife says to me this morning, I like what's coming up. Much prefer that to what we had.
Because
Yeah.
it gets dark early.
We like
sort of sucks when
lighter
it gets dark
later.
early.
We like daylight savings time. Everybody's on this crusade to get rid of daylight savings time. I think what they really mean is to get
Stop
rid of
switching it.
get rid of time changes.
Yeah, just stop switching.
And I
Yes.
think what people really want is permanent daylight savings
Yeah, just
time.
one
and get
permanent
rid of
time.
the
Stop
standard
flipping it.
time.
Just
The
pick-
problem with the permanent standard time is then in the middle of winter, you're not going to have the sunrise till about 8:30 or 9 a.m. So
Yeah.
you're going to be going to work and school in the dark.
Yep.
To just let it be light till about 6 p.m. I don't know what the right answer
Yeah,
is.
there's always a negative.
All I know is I don't mind going back and forth. I like
Yeah,
gaining
I like-
the hour in the
yeah,
fall, and
me
then
too.
on Saturday night you got to either just cut it, cut the night short, get your sleep, or just sacrifice an hour or sleep later on Sunday morning if you forget to move your clocks. But Sunday brunch here begins at, I believe they open the doors at 11:30 a.m. So don't forget to move your clocks because you might end up showing here at 12:30 and you
There
don't
you
want to
go.
miss out on any of the great stuff they have at the 10 Palms Buffet. All right, gentlemen, before we get into the contest and everything like that, why don't we just take our first break? Because it feels like
reset and get into
Joe
action.
Beja. Get into the action. We'll eat some more jambalaya, eat more crawfish, dirty rice, and all the great stuff here at 10 Palms in celebration of Mardi Gras and
Mardi
Lent,
Gras week.
which you're, I guess, somewhat adhering to. It's
Well-
Friday, Fish Friday.
I practiced the Lenten ways,
Right.
and even at 75,
Right. When you have dispensation, as you mentioned last week, if
I
you're over
can't-
70, you don't have to adhere to all of it.
I can't.
And you were like me on Yom Kippur. You're like, oh, I'm not going to have any chicken today because it's Lent. But as soon as you see that jambalaya with that beautiful andouille sausage, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm all over that. Job well done, Tony.
Yes.
You make a very good Jew like me.
Honestly.
It's like, I'm going to still drink a little coffee on Yom Kippur and
Exactly.
all that stuff. All right. Let's take our first break. Before we do, I'm going to put in the good word about our friends at Delaware Chicken and Seafood Market. Tony, we're going to be there on Tuesday, and I know how much they love you there, and you love them and their great products, the seafood, the stone crab. Don't forget the house-made sausages.
Sausage is worth going for.
Yeah, they have all kinds of varieties. turkey and chicken sausage, and of course the traditional classic pork, Italian hot and sweet sausage. You've got it all at Delaware Chicken and Seafood, and that is the place to be. Party Central if you're going to be entertaining anybody during all the upcoming basketball action in the next few weeks with the NCAA tournaments. Delaware Chicken and Seafood is the place to get your platters, and of course things like the fish dip and that great buffalo chicken dip.
The fish dip is outstanding.
Yep.
Outstanding.
We love it. It's a hit of any party. 4191 North State Road 7. We'll be out there on Tuesday. A noontime start, a little bit earlier because Lubie's got an appointment. We have to, we'll get in and out of there in the middle of the lunchtime. And if you want to get in and out of there any day of the week, they are very, very efficient. You'll just get your order.
Oh, no, it's ridiculous.
They'll get it together and you'll be a happy person. And if you want your lobster or any kind of fish prepared, steamed, they'll cook it for you. And then you can just bring it home and eat it and enjoy it. Again, DelawareChicken.com is the website. Sign up for their weekly newsletter and tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we'll be back with more from Ten Palms at Gulfstream after these words. When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast. Looking for great seafood that's a little further inland? Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C. 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom and pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward. Some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sauteed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial.
serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the new river. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of the Science Museum. For reservations and
All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. 10 Palms at Gulfstream Park, celebrating a little bit of Mardi Gras with some New Orleans classics, jambalaya, dirty rice, corn chacru. I don't even know if it's macru or chacru. I'm just making up terms at this
It's
point.
fantastic, whatever the hell it is.
As long as you say something authoritatively,
People will believe
sometimes
you,
they'll believe
as
you.
we've learned.
That's
yes.
what we've been learning lately, right, Tony Segreto?
Yeah.
Defo, I had a question for you because I was watching the morning show, and you were mentioning that you had to give a pick on one of your shows on the platform. It's called License to Steal, right? And you gave a golfer in this week's Bay Hill Arnold Palmer Invitational out. My question is this. Why would you why would you even want to pick a golf tournament where there's one winner and 143 losers?
Because the odds are big.
The odds are fantastic
okay.
in golf tournaments. Yeah.
As opposed
You
to
only have to hit one a year in some cases to be ahead of the game. As was the case when we predicted that Martin Keimer at 45-1 would win the U.S. Open many years ago, just thinking that the tournament was going to be won by some nondescript European schmake. He was a guy that was number one in the world, although it was very questionable. It was almost like being like the WBC heavyweight champion or WBO, where you're thinking, what organization is that? And he was number one in the world very briefly. He fell off the chart, started to show some signs of life. We used him. I think it was nothing, like a marginal bet, like $25. Comes in at 45-1, leads wire to wire, and that you're hooked for the rest of your life.
And your pick for this week was
Justin Thomas.
Okay. Hopefully Justin Thomas.
He hangs around.
What was
that's
his
what's interesting about
odds?
Thomas. Like,
He was like almost 30-1. He was like 28-1.
So the thing is, I mean,
you get nuts odds on guys that have a real shot at winning.
So in other
which you
words,
don't in other
you're
sports,
putting
like,
up $20 there. If he hits, you win
so much.
$560.
No, and look, I'm very familiar with this as a poker player.
It's that poker
I'd
slash horse
rather-
racing kind of a thing.
I like playing tournaments. Now, the problem with tournaments is sometimes if you you miss 4 or 5 times in a row, it hurts. But if you just cash that one time, if
You only need one.
if
Yeah.
you hit,
That's
if
it.
you actually win or finish in the top 3, you win thousands of dollars off
Well,
of
and
an
there are-
outlay of 150
There are a
bucks.
million
how many
ways
times
to
does that
hedge.
happen?
Yeah. There are a million ways to hedge in golf. And then on top of that, if your guy is in contention, I'm telling you, it exponentially, every shot becomes just monumental importance.
Golf has never been so exciting as when
Yes.
you got
Oh, yeah.
$20
Money on
it?
riding
Yeah.
on Justin Thomas.
I was in
And-
a pool and I was about to collect, but I needed Jordan Spieth to make the cut. All right, so I'm watching it desperately as he just barely makes the cut. If he doesn't make the cut, you're saddled with a penalty of 3 strokes, +3 on both of the last 2 rounds. So then I was forced because I needed him to also bounce back from just making a cut in the morning at Pebble Beach or some Northern California course. So it wasn't Pebble Beach. And I had to watch this guy in the rain and the fog playing at 6 a.m. And I needed him to do well, and he did. And then I ended up finishing second in his pool. So golf was every putt, every stroke, every backswing,
Here's the
every
thing.
every bad line.
As
becomes
a
important.
gambler, I understand that you want to get healthy odds.
Well, it's like
and-
horse racing
and-
again.
and-
Like you can have a horse that has a legit shot, especially in like the Derby.
But
When
if
you're getting
I'm
like,
on a broadcast where you want to make yourself look good, I would rather just pick a winner in a basketball game where you got a 1 out of 2 chance
Yeah,
as opposed
exactly.
to
But
1
this
out
is
of
the stuff of which
44.
legends are made.
Have you ever?
Anybody could give you. You have a 50-50 chance in every game of picking the winner.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
realize
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yes,
50-50.
except me. It's
One
about
team can win.
1%.
One team can lose to the spread. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But in golf, I mean, if you come up with a winner,
And that reminds me
You're
of
like
a
a champion,
story.
yep.
about the late great Jim Murray. We were talking about Jim yesterday, the legendary Los Angeles Times columnist. I got to know him well during a particular U.S. Open that was played, I believe it was 1990 at Medina in Chicago, because before the tournament, some of the national publications would round up predictions for who's going to win the U.S. Open this week. And, USA Today used to run a chart.
Didn't the media have to pick?
They asked Jim Murray, and he came up with the most obscure name possible. He goes, Mike Donald. Now, Mike Donald, friend of the show.
Devo's friend, yeah.
Hollywood hometown hero here in South Florida. Mike Donald had just come off like he shot a great opening round at the Masters that year. I was the local golf writer for the Sun Sentinel, and I had, I knew Mike well. We formed a bond. It was a love-hate relationship because sometimes I would have to kind of, write some not so nice things.
Nice. Could you have put in
well,
there?
when he shot 82 in round 2 of the Masters after shooting an opening round 64,
64 yes.
It wasn't the most
But
pretty.
he's a complete unknown. I mean, the guy's like 10
But
companies.
and really,
Here's something, man.
I love the guy. He's
He
now
was the Mayo to knock the guy. He's leading the
The
Masters
South
after
Florida
one
dude.
back
round.
then. He was to the right.
He's
of
barely he's one putt away from playing in Mexico, and you're going to rip the
Mayo,
guy?
your class.
Back then, he was to the right of Attila the Hun. He was like
super right-wing.
most PGA Tour golfers, and then he's undergone a metamorphosis
Oh, good
over
for
the
him.
years where he's followed. I guess we all find our own paths of what we think politically, and he's now more aligned with the Defo, me, and Lubie than I ever thought imaginable.
That's funny.
But
And me.
all right, getting back to Jim Murray, picks Mike Donald. What happens? Mike
Donald
Donald
wins.
almost wins the thing.
Yes.
Remember, and it was incredible because people were saying, "Jim, you're a genius." It wasn't until Hale Irwin sank that 80-foot putt
Yes.
on the 72nd hole to force an 18-hole playoff the following day, where the two of them
Yeah, he was
battled
still
it out.
in the playoff. Yeah,
It was
tough,
It was one of the greatest things.
It
Like a
cost him a
random
lot.
from
It
South
cost him a
Florida.
lot.
And it also now he is, I guess,
It cost him a 10-year exemption on the
Oh,
tour.
my
he
God.
Imagine
almost won, and he
Yes,
keeps.
it did.
It's one of those things. I'm sure he still wakes up every day and says, "What if that MF didn't hit that fucking 80?"
Yeah.
I think it was a
putt.
53-footer. And
Oh,
he
my
was running
God.
around the green like
Yeah,
a
he was
maniac.
high-fiving everybody.
Everyone's like,
I
no.
I was so sick that day.
Have you
And
ever played Pebble Beach before?
No, I never played there. I drove by there, and I watched a couple of doctors shank balls into the little shrub that's off the first tee.
I've played Pebble Beach. Okay,
I play Pebble
That's
Beach.
the
I-
scariest
yeah.
looking golf. From down here, where we have water everywhere,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, these courses are tough. Shirley and I, when we were in San Francisco area, drove by it. You're allowed to just park. We just pulled up and watched, and I had heard Defo for years, and I just laughed. I'm
It's
like,
funny, yeah.
it's dudes spending their
$600 to
fortune
play golf. Yeah.
to suck at golf.
back when I was in the golf media, I covered Tiger Woods. I think it was the year 2000. I don't know if he completed or was in the midst of his
The
consecutive
Tiger Slam or whatever.
He shot a final round 67 at Pebble Beach. The next day, I was chosen to be among the media members that could play the course. Same setup, same pin positions, same speed of the greens. He shot 67 final round. I shot 67 on the back nine.
That's not bad. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's
That's
not even that
horrible.
bad. Yeah.
And-
I shot 104.
And
I shot
I
150.
was so giddy. The front nine, I shot 49.
Oh,
I
wow.
broke 50.
Wow, good for you.
Anytime you could break 100 for me in
Yeah.
my
Pebble Beach
game
is psychotic.
on
Pebble Beach
a-
is the
on a
most psychotic thing I've ever
U.S.
seen.
Open course, I was actually hitting fairways
Yes.
That
on the
place is
front
nuts.
nine, and the greens are crazy. I think I still 3-putted 4 times on the front nine, but I still broke 50. And lo and behold, the back nine, the wheels fell off, and I was missing every fairway. And once you miss the fairway,
Look,
it was
it's-
crazy. Hey,
it's a
Joe
gorge-
Beja's in the
I'm
house.
bowing out for Joe
Let's,
Beja.
all right.
I
Let's
do
get,
have a Mike Donald story, though, real quick.
Okay.
I'm at the Doral, and I just met my wife. We were still very attracted to each other and thought each other were good people. Second wife. And so we're kind of making out in an area we thought was completely out of view. And then all of a sudden, we see a ball kind of trickle by us. And then a few minutes later, we see a big black shoe. And I look and I go, oh, my God, what the heck? What's going on here? And it turned out it was Mike Donald, and he had hit a ball offline on number 10. And he looks at me making out with this woman, and he says, figures it was you. We saw you off the tee, man. Yeah, true story.
Oh,
Very
man.
true. Joe
Joe
Beja, ladies and
let's
gentlemen. Joe
get
Beja.
him on quick. We'll say a quick hello, we'll take a break, and then we'll do a contest as well as catching up with Joe Beja on the latest, but not yet. We want to get him mic'd up, and we're going to give him a big, warm welcome and say Always good to see the executive director of hospitality here at Gulfstream Park as Defo digs into the jambalaya
this
that
stuff's
Chef
great, Joe.
Jason has created in honor of
Thank
the
you, by
Mardi
the
Gras
way.
weekend
Yeah.
here at Gulfstream. How are you today, Joe?
Oh, great. Doing great. Catching a breather after Fountain of Youth
Oh,
before
that was
Florida
a
Derby.
blast. Oh my
So
God, I feel for you
Bourbon,
guys.
barbecue, Fountain,
hectic.
Fountain
Such
of
a
And
good
Youth.
time.
thank you for the taste of New Orleans. 'Cause
Yeah.
It is outstanding.
okay, great.
You made
Glad
the
you
man
like it.
break Lent. He saw the sausage in the jambalaya. He goes, I gotta have it.
Gotta have it.
But he's 75, and he told me that if you're over 70, you get dispensation. You can eat whatever you want.
Oh,
You don't have
really?
to do the meat free.
Is
Yeah.
that like leaving your shoes on at the airport?
No.
No.
Yeah. But no. It's a
He
real.
gets to keep them on.
It's a real thing. If you're 70 or over, you don't.
Yeah, because you need your nutrition
Yeah.
and you need your jambalaya and
Yeah.
your andouille
Absolutely.
sausage.
Exactly.
So, well, there's no judgment here.
No, good for
We're
you.
all
Man. Go
good.
for it.
Please, no judgment.
So yeah, what inspired you guys to do this? Just to get in the spirit of Mardi Gras?
Well, Jason has a background of
He
working for
worked with
Chef Emerald,
right?
So he worked for Emerald, and some of the stage and experience that he had was being down in New Orleans for a year or two, working under Chef Emerald, and before he worked at the Emeralds in Orlando. So now that he had that kind of a background, and New Orleans cuisine to me, the Cajun cuisine's always been something
love it.
fun. I love it. I love a muffaletta. I love the jambalaya and gumbo.
And this is like
and
a corn. I forget
like
what they
a corn
call
mash, I think it's
corn
called.
macru or I
Yeah,
don't know.
macru. I think.
There
is
you
what
go.
it is.
I was
Okay.
making
Mayo
up
was
words.
trying to get there.
I need. What do I need here? I've got an interest. I feel like Defo now. I don't want the one. Of course, the one is going to win. It's the one horse I don't have in the freaking double. Oh man! All right, I feel like
Yeah.
Defo.
Do you have muffalettas?
He makes them. I don't think it'll be on the menu this week. I think we opted for the seafood boil to put that out,
That is
but
fantastic.
he can make one. We do the bread in house too, which is great. So Chef Alex Pastry does a great job with the bread.
Yes. It's an amazing sandwich.
Yes.
It's good
It
stuff.
is.
Yeah, so Saturday was ridiculous to go from that, and I was joking in our text, but like to go from that, I thought he'd still be recovering because what you guys did Saturday, we were just trying to keep track of all the dishes that we enjoyed, and I lost
Yeah.
track, and we weren't even making
That
them.
bison
So,
chili, I'm still
The
having
bison
good
chili
dreams.
was unbelievable.
It was
good.
lean and it was well flavored, not too spicy, but has just enough of a little kick. And I went back for about 5 bowls of that.
And the pulled pork nachos were good as well.
Yeah, yeah,
so,
yeah.
I, mean,
I
it was
like
great.
the chicken wings with the Alabama white
I love
sauce
that-
as well because you don't
Yeah.
see
That's
that every
really,
day.
really
the
good.
collard greens again, people
Collard
used to
greens
screw
were
up collard
excellent.
greens, and they were
Yeah.
fantastic. It's impressive to be able to do collard greens and have them be tasty. It was
Yeah.
it was really well
Yeah.
done.
And it was a great day of racing as well.
It was a great turnout. We had about 360 people.
Yeah, it kept
I guess.
filling up
It
in
was
there,
like
but
a
it,
nice vibe.
again, props to you guys because it seemed like it was more of an evenly spaced crowd where some people
Yeah.
came for the VIP hour, and then it wasn't the usual mad rush at 1 p.m. It was like a little bit of people came at 1, then more came at 1:30, and then
Yeah.
more came at 2, and then by when the time I left at 3:15, that place was
Jamming.
it was jamming, but there weren't long lines, and there
Yes.
was still
No.
plenty of food, and so this is why one of the reasons why I think the taste at the track here at Gulfstream is one of the best food festival values. If you
experiences
want
too.
a great experience,
Yeah.
with
Thank
the
you.
with the lineup of liquors and top notch distillers that you have on hand,
Yeah.
and
Listen, if you're a drinker, you come here for the liquor.
Right.
and you have a designated driver, as
Yeah.
I did last week.
Yeah. And if you're a foodie, you come here for the food.
As I
Yes.
am, and I stuffed myself pretty good. Again, it was the last weekend before the Big O. I started doing the Ozempic this week, and it's a different world. Let me just put it to you that way, Joe. But enough of the past. Let's look forward. You got a big month coming up, and then some more
We do.
stuff in April, right?
We do. So besides theming out for Mardi Gras this coming weekend, the following weekend we're going to get a jump start on St. Patrick's Day.
Nice.
St. Patrick's Day is on a Monday. Of course, everyone will be at their favorite Irish bar, or Irish pub at that particular day.
I'll be in New York for that weekend. I'm going to be
Oh,
in
nice.
New York on St. Patrick's Day. We're going to do a
Wow.
special show. I'm going to be beaming to you from the streets of New York at the parade and
Nice.
Irish
Oh,
pubs.
good for you.
Oh, that's
You
cool.
guys are going to be doing a home show, but I'm going to be in
Yeah,
New
work
York
for
on
me.
the 17th. It's going to be fun. But
Nice.
you got here, I assume,
Yeah,
corned beef and cabbage.
we have corned beef on the carving station, so we'll have corned beef and cabbage. We're gonna have shepherd's pie. We'll have some Guinness beef stew.
Oh,
So
man.
we're gonna have some really good Irish recipes on the buffet next weekend.
Nice. And then we get into Florida Derby Saturday, which is the Derby, like wine and tapas.
Wine and tapas theme, really more hearty than tapas. So it's more like I like to call it a wine and derby.
Right.
So we already have a lot of great vineyards lined up. We'll have about 14 different vendors that are here. Each vendor will be pouring 2 or 3 varietals from their portfolio. And then chefs working on the menu right now. It's not finalized, but we expect it to be very high
I'm
end.
sure there's going to be very,
some
very
really nice, like
stuff.
carving stations and pasta stations
nice.
and so forth. So it'll be on the higher end.
But it'll
the
still-
ticket prices are higher. That's
A
why
little
we
bit
really
higher,
want-
enhanced experience for enhanced
Correct.
racing days. That's one of the philosophies, and I totally agree with it. I mean,
Yeah.
special
Well, no, it
days.
makes sense. Will it be set up like the Taste of the Tracks?
Yes.
At least.
Yes.
Because
on the
I'm
third
already
floor.
starting to. My wife's already like, hello. It's like, I'll try, baby. It's a big deal. Joe always takes care of us. But it just, because they always go so well, you could still see it even because of the way you guys do it again. Like the fact that you said there's 360 people, the energy and the vibe feels like it, but the wait times don't. Like the fact that getting food, getting drinks is so seamless. And everyone, it's funny, we always like to preface things by saying, in this day and age where everyone doesn't get along, that's not the case here. Like people are moving chairs for other people. People are dancing with random people they never dance with. People are moving over to get you a drink when you're in line. Like the vibe there is so friendly and cool that no matter whatever elevation it is, it fits. So like I could see it being elevated, but still have that same vibe to it.
It will be. It'll be a lot of fun. We're going to up it a little bit more by doing a live band
Oh,
this
nice.
time around too, as opposed to
nice.
DJ.
Nice.
So we'll
Okay.
have a nice 5-6 piece band.
Do you have-
Joe, I got to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
How many crawfish do you order? Did you order for?
Oh,
the,
for this weekend?
Yeah.
I'll
this
check. I'll get back to you. Let me ask Chef Jason and see what he put through.
All I
for
know
this,
is that
so-
the other day on Fat Tuesday itself at Shuck and Dive in Fort Lauderdale, they had a crawfish boil. They had 1,000 pounds. It was
Oh.
a half ton of crawfish that they
Wow.
were
Oh, my
dropping
God.
throughout the evening, and they got hit with some rain. So I did put a little damper on it. I was in there earlier in the day, but yeah, crawfish is one of those things that if you get a pound, usually they say a pound per person.
Yeah, you go right through it.
But yeah, it's good stuff. I had a question. Well, first of all, to get your tickets for the
Wine and Derby are available now,
Wine
right?
Derby,
They are available now on our website on www.gulfstreampark.com, and then click on the link, and then I'll take you to the Wine and Derby or Wine and Tapas as it's
Right.
listed on our website. And for that, again, the tickets available. The VIP will be, I think, first race will be about 11:30, 11:40
yeah,
that
early
particular
day.
day.
So
We are going to still open at 12. So if you want to
Okay.
get here for the
Oh,
first
nice.
race, go to the first floor. We'll be open there. 10 Palms will be open as well. And then at 12 o'clock, we'll open doors upstairs. VIP will be from 12 to 1.
Right.
And then from 1, we're going to extend it this time till 5. So from 1 to
Right.
5 will be
and the
general
race
admission.
time is about 5:45. So
Correct.
do they have to exit that room,
No,
or just
they
things
can,
get put
they
away?
can stay in
and-
the room. It's
Okay.
kind of like, I like to compare it to when you go to a football game or something where they stop serving alcohol after
Yeah,
the third quarter
the food
you know,
and wine will stop
at 5.
at 5,
Oh, at
but
5.
you
Yep.
can hang out,
Oh,
and the
wow.
betting windows
Yeah.
will remain open,
Correct.
and you can watch that beautiful, Florida Derby overlooking the picture window there on the third floor. It's a great view of the track.
It's a
So
great view.
It is
I would
great.
highly
It's
recommend
great.
it. Yeah.
I highly recommend that. Or as another alternative, if you want to get down close to it, just head over to Carousel Club.
Oh,
And
Carousel Club will put you right
the
on
other
the
thing
route.
is that day I might be there earlier in the day. So like some of Val's friends are celebrating a birthday, and I think they already purchased their tickets. And Val, unbeknownst to me, there's a annual event that's the Friends of the Library in Fort Lauderdale. It's a literary fest. She
Okay.
bought tickets for the literary fest. That starts at about 6:30, and I was like, does reading a racing form count as a literary endeavor?
yeah.
But I think we'll be at the track the first part of the day. Go home, watch the big race at home, and then go to the literary fest, and then it's just a festival of everything.
you can do what
For
you
the
want. I'm not
degenerates.
missing Wine and Derby. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, my wife already put in for it, and it's like dreaming of what it'll be. And I just the day of horse racing here with the Kentucky Derby vibe, but with South Florida skews. And the food that Joe and Chef Jason put together, I can't imagine a better day.
You can't beat that.
One last question for you: have you ever thought about having a derby contest? Have with the ladies
hats.
Yes. Marketing usually handles something like that. I know. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing it this time around for Florida Derby. I'll have to
because I
double check.
know
but-
derby
Oh,
actually means
no,
a
the
hat.
hat's a big
That's
thing, yep.
and that's what people love. It Kentucky
Big deal.
Derby Day or in
Oh, even
England,
here, like,
Epsom Derby. I mean,
Yes.
all the ladies come out with
Yes.
oh,
their
no, they do.
big
They go all in.
dolled up hats that some of them are very creative. They,
Yes.
they,
Yep.
they create for the occasion. So
you know,
we'll keep an eye on that. We'll
I
find
actually
out.
meet with marketing in a few minutes here. Maybe I'll mention that to them for the Flamingo Room.
Yeah.
That would
Maybe
be
we
a
can
lot
give
of
away a
fun.
bottle or something.
Are
like
you
that.
ahead? Are you ahead of yourself now than you were a year ago?
In terms of planning and
terms of-
preparation, or
No, in terms of turnout, betting?
Oh, for the
Yes.
Oh, how are things
We
going?
are
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
for the
yeah.
Derby. And believe it or not, for the wine and tapas event, we've already sold 148 tickets
Oh,
already.
wow.
They're doing
And
well.
that's just organically. That's not like an email blast or any kind of our
Yeah,
marketing
it's
push.
just people know it's a big day.
people
and
know
they're
it's a big
looking
day
for the
going on our
different
website.
options. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's take our second
That's
break.
great.
Joe, can you stick around? And
We
we're
gotta
going
do the
to
contest.
talk about April because there's other big stuff coming up in
Yep,
April,
yes.
including a Sunday brunch bash with the Lunchbox
Yes.
crew and another Italian themed event. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
You're missing a lot of us, Joe.
And we're going to do a contest also that's going to make Tony happy because it's National Meatball Day on Sunday.
Nice.
But talking about, well, you know what? Let's not even talk about anything. Let's just take a break, and we'll be back with more on the Lunchbox from 10 Palms after these words.
Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasta platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed for the finest poultry and the freshest fish. Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima for reservations.
All right, we're back on the Lunchbox with Joe Beja, Executive Director of Hospitality here at Gulfstream Park, and we're going over the agenda of his food events, the Taste of the Tracks. He's talking about, basically tries to do one every month except May because of Derby month, and that's a big day. But let's talk about April. First, before we get to the Taste of the Track, I got to announce that we are doing another one of our seasonal Lunchbox brunch bashes, thanks to Joe Beja. We're going to do it on Sunday, April 6th. We're going to have live racing here at Gulfstream. We're going to have simulcast action from Keeneland, which is one of the great race places in the country.
It's spectacular.
And you can join us, even if you haven't won a contest. It's open. You know, if contest winners want to redeem their prize that day, that's fantastic. And you can come on out as a viewer and celebrate just spring. And it's going to be great. The brunch bash includes the buffet, which has all the great lineup of omelet station and carvery and all this and that. And Joe gives us a discounted rate. So if you want to come out,
It's nuts.
instead of the usual price of $55, you get a discount, $44 per person plus tax and tip. And if you're going to have alcohol, it's additional. And
No, but
you're going to be there. Tony Segreto is going to be there. I'm going to be pumping up the handle so it makes Joe look good.
I'll be there at
We'll
the
be
front.
pumping up the handle
I'll be the
too.
host with the most.
And if you want to join us, all you got to do is email me at mikemayoeats@gmail.com and just RSVP with the number of people in your party. You don't have to put down any deposit. You'll just pay when you get here that day at the end of the day. And it's going to be a really fun time. I give a little speech, which always impresses,
Me?
Okay. It's before I
it's
get
just great because it's like an all-day affair.
And you're going to see Mike Mayo slim down a
We'll
little
see.
bit.
We'll see. We'll see if the medication works.
There we go.
I got to have some discipline, but it's been going well. And then thank you for Joe again. April 6th, RSVP MikeMayoEats@gmail.com.
Yeah,
And
fantastic.
then later in April, drum roll. This is the one that everybody's been wanting the reprise because you debuted it in December,
Right. End of
And-
November, yes.
end of
Yes.
November,
Correct.
and it's called.
Martinis, paninis, and linguini.
Oh, my God.
It's
it
the
was
Italian
ridiculous.
Fest.
Yeah, it's the
Are
Italian
Are you
Fest
still
with
in town on
martinis.
April 29th?
I'm still in town.
You have to come,
It was
Tony.
ridiculous.
When I say
The Taste of Tracks are all great,
that
but that was nuts.
every component, every dish they put out was something was like, oh my God, that's something I would usually find at Casa
It
D'Angelo.
was like
You know,
super
like
high
yes.
level, but everything was so tasty. Oh my god!
the
Yeah.
carpaccio that you
And
had.
I'll even
Carpaccio's
have a martini
fantastic.
that day.
The arancini. We had
Arancini
arancini.
was
good.
nice,
Too many syllables to add to the name, but that's okay.
Had some of the
And is your mom going to
pastas.
cook something?
You know,
We got to get her to bring
maybe.
her
We'll
meatballs.
see.
You got to bring
We'll
your
see.
mom here.
I
Yeah,
should.
to work.
I
So
should.
that's April 26th. Is that right? Saturday.
We might have
April-
to play with a day. We have a contract out for an event that day, so I might push it to the 27th on
Okay.
Sunday.
Oh, cool.
So we're
okay.
just waiting to see if the
That's
contract
better.
come back signed. You know, business first. in
Yeah,
that
you gotta make
sense.
that money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
actually
okay.
better.
A Sunday is usually the family dinner day
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
Italians.
that makes
You
sense.
You could
There
put a
you go.
nice Sunday gravy
Yeah,
out
the
there.
gravy.
Hint,
Oh,
hint.
that's right. That's
If
a
it's
good
going to be
idea.
a Sunday
Yeah.
feast, the 27th, I'm wide
Yeah.
open that day, Joe. So
That's
Yeah,
what
I'm
we're probably
sure
looking at.
scheduling around
That'll
Mr.
be
Michael
work,
Mayo.
yeah.
Yes,
Nice.
looking good.
Sunday gravy with Mr. Mayo.
It could
There
be
you go.
2 big Sundays in April with the Lunchbox crew.
super stoked.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. And again, throughout the year, you peg it around different national food holidays.
Yep,
so like
correct.
you saying that you have Tequila Day in July.
Right. So usually with that, we take May off because of between Kentucky Derby Day, Preakness, Mother's Day. It's just a full month.
Yep.
And then June 3rd, though, we like to come back, or June 4th. It was June 3rd last year. First Saturday of June or second Saturday of June for, I think it's June 8th, maybe.
It is June 8th this year. Yes.
Is the Belmont.
Belmont.
Nice.
So we'll do
Taste of New York.
Taste of New York.
Nice.
So
That
we'll
was
do
another.
Taste
Oh
of
my
New York
God.
with New York themed cocktails and obviously like
Hot
Chinatown.
dogs,
Little
I
Italy.
like how into it.
The hot
He got a
dog
diet.
cart.
He got a diet all
pastrami.
week.
Oh
Some
yeah, yeah.
pizza.
Yeah.
I just like how into it Chef Jason gets with the food, and Joe gets with the little like with when
he
it was
had the
down
hot dog
here for the
cart.
Cuban, like with
Yeah.
the New York stuff. Like Joe's very detail oriented, so
The
it
team will always
transports
the
you.
team
Like,
will tell you I love a good pun or good joke, a good theme. You know, like even the St. Patty's Day coming up, the marketing team was kind of stumped as to what to advertise for the weekend, and I said, why don't we just call it Doubling Your Fun at Gulfstream Park? DUBLIN. Could not resist.
There you go.
So, but but we'll do Taste of New York in June. July will be National Tequila Day, so we'll do the tacos and
That's
tequila
always
again.
Big time popular.
August is always features National Rum Day, so we'll do our Cuban festival
theme,
again,
ridiculous.
the Cuban theme, and then we go to September, which is National Bourbon Month. So
Go back
we'll
to
do
Bourbon and Barbecue.
Back to Bourbon and Barbecue.
I love it. I mean, it's never too early to start playing.
Nothing wrong with spending a lot of time at Gulfstream.
So
they're all fun. All the events
We're
are
big
fun.
fans of it.
another big couple of months ahead at Gulfstream Park. All
We
right,
need to get
we
to a
got to do the
contest, by the way,
contest,
sir.
okay?
Do the contest.
Okay.
Do the contest.
Sorry, Tony.
When we
Do
have
the
Joe
But
here.
this is a contest after both Joe and his mom and your own heart. Do you know what Sunday is, Tony?
National Meatball Day.
There you go. He was paying attention.
There we
Very good. Sunday, March 9th, besides being my brother Burl's birthday, happy birthday, Burl. March 9th is National Meatball Day. So we're going to do a contest in honor of that. Now, again, for this week's contest, all you got to do is email the answer to this week's restaurant trivia questions, along with the horse selections for this week's Gulfstream Saturday contest race, which is early in the card. Race 2 is a maiden special weight race, and it's a full field of 14. It's actually only going to be 12. There's some also eligibles in the entries. But number 1 through 14 send to me, and again, it's going a mile on the turf, and it's going early at 1:19 p.m., so you really got to hit that noon deadline. And the tiebreaker, sorry, Sarni, I'm sick of college basketball. He wanted me to do
next
Auburn,
month, it's gonna be a big
Alabama.
deal
We're going
next
to be
month.
doing a lot of college hoops. We're doing a classic NBA rivalry tomorrow night.
Lakers.
It's going to be Lakers at Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the rivalry.
And so that's going to be the tiebreaker.
And both are good teams.
So here we go. It's, again,
Both are 2 seeds.
a number between 1 and 14 for tomorrow's second race, which is a mile on the turf for maidens.
Okay.
1:19 p.m. post time. Winning team and margin in the Lakers-Celtics game, 8:30 p.m. on Saturday on ABC. And then basically the
answer
restaurant.
this.
All right? And it's a slam dunk. It's a layup. All I got to do is say 2 words.
Okay.
And again, get the entry into MikeMayoEats@gmail.com by noon tomorrow, March 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Yo, cuz.
Ah,
He knows it.
I don't know
course.
it.
That's all you
I'm
need.
always
Okay,
behind.
for
But
this
go
week's
for it anyways. I
restaurant,
wanna
we
hear it.
celebrate National Meatball Day with a restaurant famous for its meatballs. The clues. Yo, cuz. That's the catchphrase of the chef owner behind this Fort Lauderdale institution on East Oakland Park Boulevard, and it's a term of endearment in his native South Philly.
Okay.
Number 2, you know it, Joe.
Joe
right?
already knows. Joe.
I
Tony,
know.
you know
And
it?
I guess Tony gets
I've worked
Defo always mentions the name, so I didn't want him here
Defo
for it because
probably
he would say
Yeah.
meatballs.
Yes.
Oh, they got the best meatballs.
Yeah,
I know. I've worked with him and done some events with him too. He's a very colorful character
He's
too.
a character, all
He
right.
is.
He opened the restaurant in 1993 with only $40 in his pocket. That's how the legend goes. And he now also has another location in Pittsburgh. At one point, his empire included locations in Atlantic City, Vegas, and the Seminole Hard Rock Complex in Hollywood. But he has since downsized, and you can find him most nights at the Fort Lauderdale flagship. He actually loves to cook. And number 3, besides cooking, he also loves to play DJ. He spins tunes late into the night. So besides his renowned giant meatball and cheesesteaks and Sicilian pizza at the bar, he's known for spinning his records as a DJ and also admonishing those who ask for grated Parmesan cheese on his linguine with clams or other seafood dishes. He will refuse your request.
I know.
If you ask for grated cheese for your seafood dish,
That's a no-no.
he's going to say, I don't know if he's going to give you the heave-ho, but he's just going to say no.
I was there one night, and I'm sitting down with Dave Wanstadt and his wife and my wife, and Joe Montana sitting at the next table, and he started spinning records.
Yep.
That place was jumping where the windows were just shaking.
Rick Pitino is a regular guest. He loves going there. I know some other people who are regulars. I haven't been a regular so much, but Mark Falsetto has promised to take me again and maybe turn my feelings around because I was one of those. It was my wife at the time likes cheese on her linguine and clams.
Oh, he got
and when
yelled,
they said
yelled
no,
at you?
well,
Oh, my
nobody yelled
God.
at me, but it was just like it
Yeah,
was
but
one of
that's,
those
like,
things.
awkward,
Like
though.
she was like, "We're never going back." And I
Yeah, of course.
Wow.
I remember last time I was there, of course, the music's blaring and it's playing really loudly, and they're showing The Godfather on the TVs.
Yeah.
And it comes to the scene where Sonny pulls up to the toll booth,
yeah,
right? We all know what happens there, right?
it
So
was
as soon
not pretty.
as all the guys come out with the machine guns, the music went down, the TV sound went up.
Yes. Yeah. I forgot about that.
And then when the scene was over, okay, the
Go back to
TV
the
went
music.
down, the music went back up. You know?
That's known as a drop in the biz, I
Yep.
guess.
Yeah.
Look, the place, it's one of those polarizing places.
Mhm.
Some people love it, some people not so much. But you got to admit, the man does make a mighty fine meatball.
Yes,
So,
he
It does. Lobster
in,
French chase
Meatball
is
Day.
good
And I was
too,
surprised to look
yeah.
back at in 120 weeks of contest that I haven't used it as an answer yet.
Yeah.
But I did look it up because I have my full chart of everything that I've ever done involving this
Yeah.
contest. And lo and behold, had not given the man, his due or his moment in the
Sun.
Lunchbox Sun.
Yeah.
Again, good luck. Send in those answers. A horse from number 1 through 14 for the second race, along with a tiebreaker, Celtics, Lakers, and the answer to that, MikeMayoEats@gmail.com. I think that's going to do it for now.
We have a break, but
I know
sure.
we have a break. That's going to do it for Joe. Unless he wants to have a couple of crawfish during the next break. Thank you again for everything.
Thanks,
No,
Joe.
my pleasure, gentlemen.
Thanks, Joe.
You
That's good.
are the best. And let us take our final break, and we'll come back and wrap up this week in this edition of the Lunchbox after these words.
Hey Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical. Hey, it's Mayo here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information.
All right, we're back on the Lunchbox, and a couple of notes. We've got the Red Meat Lovers Club is taking over Runway 84 for one of their big events. It's going to be this Monday, the 10th, and there are tickets remaining. Go online to eventbrite.com or rmlclub.com to get your tickets for Evan Darnell and his great group of guys and gals that hang out, and they're going to be doing a whole bunch of eating at Runway 84, and there's also all kinds of great auction items for charity. Red Meat Lovers Club, that's this Monday. And for weekend plans tonight, Tropical Acres, you got the happy hour in the bar.
I love that they have happy hour on Friday.
And you also have Batch, our friends downtown in Fort Lauderdale, 525 North Federal Highway, the great brunch spot. Also, if you're looking for bottomless libations
New Orleans kind of stuff, they do a great shrimp and grits.
Yeah, they have shrimp and grits. They got the biscuits on the
I can't wait to try it.
Oh yeah, you're going to be there next
biscuits
week.
and gravy.
And that brings me to next week's rundown.
Very busy week.
Monday, we're going to be at the Floridian. You talk about
Nice.
classic spots in Fort Lauderdale.
It is classic.
I hadn't realized that it had been around, not as a restaurant, but it's been in business since 1937.
Oh yeah.
It started off as kind of one of those drugstore soda fountain places. Then it morphed into a restaurant in the 50s. Then it was taken over by Butch Samp, legendary local restaurateur. He passed a couple of years ago, and now thanks to Andy Cagnetta and the Trans World crew, they were able to find a buyer to take over after Butch passed, and it is the same crew that operates Gran Forno Bakery in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, cool.
So now all the breads that are served at the Floridian is from Baked Fresh Daily at Gran Forno. The croissants and they do things for the French toast. It's fantastic stuff. So we're going to be in the Floridian. It's going to be an early kind of brunch show. I believe we're starting at not sure if it's 11:30 at noon. I'll check that.
That works.
That's Monday. Tuesday we're with Delaware at noon. Delaware Chicken and Seafood. Wednesday we are somewhere that escapes me right now. Oh yeah, the new Giorgio's Bakery.
Oh yeah,
with our friend Sophia from Taverna
Kima.
Kima.
Nice.
And that's going to be also on the earlier show
On the Galt.
on Galt Ocean Mile. And Thursday, Batch.
Yeah.
And Friday, back here
At the
for
stream.
Pie Day and pre-St. Patty's Day festivities at Gulfstream Park right here, 10 Palms. Any winners, Defo?
No, I just watched this $112 horse mow down the chalk there at. Well, actually, it mowed down a 5-1 shot at Tampa Bay. So prices are coming in.
We
Nice.
love bombs away.
Bombs
as-
away.
That's the jargon at the racetrack for big balloons.
Big balloons.
We love big balloons. We hate chalk. We hate milk of magnesia eating dicks. We want nothing but long shots all day. And once you know it, Defo, I had like 7 horses in the double with that 8
and not
horse.
one of them
And
came
you left
in.
out the chunk.
I
so you
left
lost.
out the one. But
Not one of them.
There
what
you
I
go.
did hedge.
You
I
had
said,
every horse but one.
Hey, there's a,
I
Oh
had
my
every
God.
horse but the 1 and the 10.
Only
And you
time
still
Schrupp.
lost.
Of
That's
course,
a
it
time
came
Schrupp.
in 1 5 10. But what did I do? I did a box of 1 5 10.
Oh, good for you.
Oh, you
and
won.
I
Okay.
didn't do a trifecta box, but
Yes.
woulda, coulda, shoulda. All right.
One of your horses is still running. and
Oh
still
man,
running
I
on
love
track.
it here. Oh,
There
this
he
the
is.
best time of year. There it is. Coming
No,
down the
there
stretch.
he is
There
too.
he is too. Every screen, there's another race every few minutes.
No,
We
you
love
can't
it.
go wrong. I mean,
Coast
this
to
is,
coast.
This is
you
heaven.
thought. I remember a good friend of mine, Alan Bork, was one of my original sponsors ever on anything I ever did down here. Triple Crown Insurers, and he was big in the horse buying and selling business. And he told me about when they first had simulcasting in Las Vegas. He said, "You have to get out there. You're going to think you died and went to heaven."
Mm-hmm.
And when I got out there, soon after that, I thought I died and went to heaven.
Stop.
And,
We died and went
it's
to heaven
just
here.
like that everywhere now, so it's great.
Well, it's going to be another fun weekend. I hope everybody has a safe and enjoyable
Get your
one.
entries in by 12 p.m. tomorrow.
There you go. You got it. And Defo, you didn't hear the contest, but it is National Meatball Day on
Antoine's
Sunday.
is the no.
that was last
on-
week. Don't blurt it out. All I'm
National
gonna do.
Meatball
Well,
Day?
you know, it's the place you always talk about when I talk about meatballs, and the clue I gave. I think I shouldn't have given any other clue. Is just say "Yo, cuz." So
Oh
that's
wow. Okay. Well,
yeah, that's it. But I did give other clues. All right.
Anybody would know that, though.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
Anybody who's
it's
anybody
a landmark.
Yes.
in this town.
Is that an iconic Andy Cagnetta future play? Or
It could
no?
be,
Yeah.
but I don't want to ruffle any feathers and make it like, oh, we want you to sell, because nobody tells that man what to do.
He's done well for himself. That
he-
guy.
he
Yeah,
tells
Steve
us what to do.
You know, he got done well.
No
I don't want to
cheese.
mention it. Yeah.
No cheese on your seafood.
No cheese.
If you don't like it,
Those meatballs
Get
are
out.
huge, though. There's
they're
no doubt.
big. I don't know what the price is now, but they are
You can play
They
basketball.
were
World famous.
pricey.
probably $32. I'm going to
Oh,
guess.
God. It's a lot of money for
It's
a
a
meatball.
lot of meal.
Yeah.
That's a very
Money for a
expensive
meatball.
All right, that's going to do it for this
Have a
week.
great
We'll see
weekend,
everybody
everybody.
Monday from the Floridian. We'll figure out the time later.
Yep.
Until then, enjoy every crawfish, every jambalaya,
You
and
didn't eat
enjoy
enough, Mayo. You really,
enjoy
very
every-
disappointing again.
every sandwich.